I met with an opposition party leadership and they told me Tinubu government gives them 50 million naira each. Atiku, really? And now to the news info. Former Vice President Atiku Abubakar has raised alarm over the potential erosion of Nigeria's democracy, cautioning that the nation's current trajectory could jeopardize the democratic gains it has achieved. Speaking in Abuja at a national conference on strengthening democracy organized by multiple organizations, including the African Center for Leadership, Strategy and Development, Center LSD, and the Center of Democracy and Development, CDD, Atiku urged Nigerians to make a critical decision about the nation's democratic future. What decision do we want to make? We are at a crossroad in this democratic experiment, Atiku stated, lamenting the increasing influence of courts in deciding electoral outcomes. He criticized governance for dictating the direction of political parties, arguing that political parties should instead guide governance as they directly interact with citizens during campaigns. Atiku highlighted the importance of legislative reforms, emphasizing that the National Assembly must play a proactive role in safeguarding democracy. However, he expressed skepticism about the current Assembly's ability to implement necessary changes, describing it as a rubber stamp for the government. Citing Turkey as an example, Atiku pointed to the credibility of his electoral system, where the electoral body refused to declare President Recep Erdogan a winner when he failed to meet the constitutional requirement of 50% of the vote. He questioned whether Nigeria's electoral institutions could demonstrate similar integrity. You already know the answer, and the answer is no, they can never. With Mahmoud still there, they can never do that though. Atiku further alleged that the current government has been undermining opposition parties by inducing their leaders with financial incentives. I met with an opposition party leadership and they told me that this government gives them 50 million naira each. He disclosed, urging Nigerians to remain steadfast in their commitment to democracy. That person that told you that they gave him 50 million naira, you cannot mention his name. What if he's lying? Or how would you be collecting 50 million naira from somebody as incentive? Why? Can you imagine? So that means they are part of the ones that are destroying the party. Or did the person just came to me and say, well, see me, I've collected 50 million naira. It's not because I want to betray the party, but I need the money. But I'm not going to do what they said I should do. Because I don't get 50 million naira. So you know how many people they've given 50 million naira, and then they will say there's no money in the country. According to Daily Trust reports, the former VP was also alleged that the present government has been inducing opposition party leaders. I want to say it here publicly. I met with the political party leadership in the present opposition, and they told me flatly that this government gives them 50 million naira each. The former vice president called for unity among opposition parties to resist the winning at all costs mentality of the ruling party. He also emphasized the need for better party funding to strengthen political structure and ensure the accountability. If we are not careful, we may end up with no democracy at all. God forbid, he warned. Okay, Atiku, we heard you. Alfred Visser says, all the words should be channeled to the corrupt judges and INEC. If Nigerians don't make INEC and judges a scapegoat, nothing will change. That's just it. The people that we need to face is INEC and the judges. We really need to face them. If we can face those ones, then probably we can succeed. Lawal Saola says, which democracy are we still having on there? When major countries in the Western world are introduced and force democracy down our throats, are already moving fastly towards far-right dictatorship and fascism as well. Kaide Adedeji says, and so what? Ask your party experts if no one received their own in PDP as well. Do they not spend for election? As your Oga OBJ not doing that when you were vice president? Atiku, keep quiet and stop this your cheap podcast. Okay now. Higino says, politicians and political parties are busy raising and pointing accusing figures against one another, while the self-imposed and entitled ruler of this nation are busy institutionalizing bureaucracy in place of democracy. Na Agbero with the practice, Agbero na full APC. That's just the truth. Sonny says, was the 2023 presidential convention of the PDP that produced its presidential candidate free, fair and credible, with one of its chieftains directed to his state's delegate to vote allegedly for his kinsman, only at the finishing line when Nyesom Wike was cruising to victory, allegedly changing the rules and the goalposts against their agreed rules. Muhammadu Buhari was the kinsman in power for 8 years. In spite of what occurred, he never for once ventilated his rejection of anything. Haba. Nari Haba. Celestine says, imagine Ketu calling Port Blackie, no be small thing. Femi Aluko says, focus on your own leadership style. Don't be like a wind. After all, you will never been in good books of OBJ, whom you claim yourself for 8 years. No, you are thinking about someone, okay? Patrick Emela says, Atiku, please allow President Bola Tinubu to breathe. God bless Nigeria. God will really bless Nigeria. Amen. Wahala. Atiku, allow Tinubu to breathe too. Omotola Adedoyin says, Atiku have been using money to win his election. What is he talking about, Abi? Really, he's really pot calling Kettle black because he too, he's desperate for power. He's desperate to be the president of this country. So you can't say somebody else is desperate when you too yourself, you are so desperate. Ferdinand Yamkis says, very stupid president. You cannot pay 75,000 naira for minimum wage, but you are now sharing 50 million naira for the people that you have money, so you can send it. I've been now. It is well. Great Thank God says, just imagine what greed, arrogance, and wickedness has reduced Atiku to one-time ruling a party chieftain, currently playing opposition role just because of arrogance. Uchenna Walker says, it was the one that put PDP down. Now he wants to rule with the same party he destroyed. How? Now real how? No wahala. Sadi says, Oga Atiku, before you come to Igbo land again, come tell us how many Igbo women you dey marry. Abeg, organize a group of champions, the release of Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, and naturalize it. Since you begin come Igbo land, I never see anything where you or your kids can do for Ndigbe except to wear our Ishiago and shout Igbo kwenu, kwenu, kwezenu. Una know say I be your own Ogo. I come make una support me. Give me votes. Na me dey marry una sister. Ask am how I dey treat am. I go marry another one tomorrow. Very funny. Hey, Oscar Chukwu says, wow, please, I'm not for or against any, but my concern is that we should be sure of what we say, please. God will perfect what concerns our nation in Jesus' mighty name. Amen. Amen. Fami Fatoko says, Atiku has become an activist, knocking on many political doors. He wasn't this active when Buhari, his fellow Fulani Northerners, was president for 8 years. Nigerian politics is expensive. Let him give this opposition party 75 million naira each monthly to beat FGN's figures. Now, wow. He has the money. Let him be spending it. After all, he desperately wants to be the president. It doesn't come cheap. Money and more money. Now, so money and more money. Ezechena says, El Rufai, what's happening? I could remember what you said about last election in Nigeria. In just a week after election, the same you said that at your work have been fulfilled. Just like people have used the Nigerian Christianity and deceiving them into Muslim governance. What are you trying to do again? You don't know? Let's just keep watching. My listeners, over to you. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Don't forget to like, to share, and subscribe. Thank you for listening. See you some other time. Bye.